next presenter is Silver Tiger Metals, and presenting on behalf of the company is President and CEO Glenn Jessome. Glenn?
Thank you very much, Derek. Look, thank you everyone for taking the time to hear maybe for the first time about our LT grade project in Sonora. And maybe some it's not the first time, so we'll give a good update from the last time we were all together. The first thing I like to talk about with any presentation we do, it's about track record. I think anyone investing in a jurisdiction should ask how long that team, technical team, has been in that jurisdiction, how many mines they've built, how many they've developed, and sold to majors. We have our group out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, have been working in Mexico for over 25 years building mines. 3 mines were constructed by this technical team. We'll talk about 2 more were developed and sold to majors. The last one about 2 years ago, a project we had that we ended up selling very quickly to Agnico Eagle. I'll talk a little bit about that because it's about track record. We are in Sonora. If anyone knows Mexico, it's a very good mining state jurisdiction. We're 80 kilometers from the U.S. border. What basically asset do we have here? We have a very large land package. You're looking at it there inside the gold boxes. I'm a securities lawyer by training. My role has always been with our group here in Halifax to build the public companies. We've been serial in doing that. All of them have developed real assets, real ounces turned into mines. We need to build those companies, and then we need to do acquisitions. Usually, those acquisitions are other public companies that have assets we identify. This was one such acquisition. We built the company Silver Tiger for our technical team to put an asset into. And this asset, bottom of the market, 16, 17, came to our attention. We had to have it. We realized that quickly. It was a 35-kilometer long land package. You see it there where I've just marked. I had 25 kilometers of the Sierra Madre running through it. Why we really needed to acquire was that little light red line I've just drawn right in the middle of this 30,000 hectare land package is the old LT Grade mine. 1908 to 1930, 100 million silver equivalent ounces came out of that thing with an average grade of over 2 kilograms per ton. That was something tenor grade stood out for us. That usually carries across a trend like this in our experience of building mines for 25 years. Technical team told me that also the bonus would be that if we did acquire it around it, and we drill off very quickly, we did within a year, 1 million ounce, 43101 compliant, open pit bulk tonnage, gold halo mineralization around the old mine. The old timers wanted nothing to do with that. We'll show you a 3D model of the old mine here as we go. More exciting, they said, just to the north in the next 3 kilometers, the veins continue unmined, and they're being hosted in that same wide zone of gold mineralization. That was enough for us. We had to have it. I went to work. We bought the public company called LT Gray Silver. We paid $11 million for it, cash and stock. That company became delisted, and we took the asset in Silver Tiger and moved on. Things we loved about this quickly were no ejido, which means no Native Peoples First project we'd had with that. There were no royalties given away on the project. We still retain the full royalty. This is all ranch land. We have agreements. Everything you see, that 30,000 hectares, which is a massive land package, we have agreements with all the ranchers to explore. This little area right here in the middle that I've just drawn the line towards, the box, not quite to scale, that's 6,200 hectares. I purchased all of the land rights. The rancher was willing to sell those to Silver Tiger, and we paid $1.1 million for that. As you can see, we have easy access. We're 80 kilometers from the U.S. border. We come up Federal Highway 17 from Hermosillo, about 2 hours to the south, city of 1 million people. Our technical team has been based there for 25 years, and we drive right into site. Very, very easy access. You can see a power line runs through the project, just through Serendipity, runs down here to Nacasari for the big copper smelter that is here for the copper mines that are around us. Enough there about the project. We'll have more about that in a few minutes, but let's just do a little tour of the neighborhood. I'm just going to spin this so we're all looking south along this prolific Sierra Madre trend. 75 kilometers, we'll come back to this, was a project that most silver investors, incredible job done by a company called Silvercrest. That's their Las Chispas, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Santa Gratuitous is one I just want to spend a moment on. That was the same RMO, same technical team. I'll introduce you to on the next page. We basically took that asset. We paid $9 million for it, bought another public company called Animus, spent $9 million on it, and within 3 years of owning it, this technical team developed a 1 million ounce gold resource with economics, and that was bought 2 years ago by Agnico Eagle. By the time we get rid of the royalty, it was about 110 million USD all in. That's the type of work this team does. I'll show you some of the mines we've built on the next page. Cheesepaw and El Tigre, a lot of people say they're similar. Look, they have a $1.6 billion market cap. Ours is 120. So when we acquired this, did we see the similarities? Of course. Low sulfidation epithermal system. What else was very similar is these were old foreign-owned mines. Look, we can say we're the smartest guys in exploring in 25 years in Mexico. We found all of our projects under and around the headframes of old foreign-owned, like this one, an American mine, or Spanish mines. Cheesepaw was the same as foreign-owned mine, same vintage as El Tigre, 1900, 1930. What happened in 1929 was silver went to 20 cents, less than 20 cents, from $1.33. And these two assets sat for 80 years. Eric Fear at Silvercrest has hit the home run of home runs by drilling the vein extensions around that old mine. Our very, very high-grade silver mine from the same period, we're just getting ready to do that now. But we have delivered a resource just prior to doing that in the open bulk tonnage, and we'll show you that. Team, I think I need to spend 1 minute on it. We don't have a lot of time to cover a lot of ground here, but if we don't have these people, you should not be investing in a securities lawyer who lives in Halifax talking about mines in Mexico. It's all about the technical team and the track record. I'm very fortunate to be able, because of my relationships with this group over 20 years, have this team to exploit and explore our asset. Dave Duncan was the person who I built the company for. Dave had been, he's a 45-year career geologist out of Halifax. His last project was a company called Etruscan Resources. Some of you may remember it if you're old enough. Big Halifax company. They were in Africa. They developed Yuga and Agbo, developed them, put them in production. That company was sold to Endeavour Mining, and there's still core assets of that big Vancouver-based mining company. Dave wanted his own deal, so we built Silver Tiger for Dave as the founder, along with myself. Ramon Luna has been working with us for over 25 years out of Mexico. It was putting these two teams together that's been magic for us down there for Silver Tiger. Ramon had Ocampo under his belt, built with the same group out of Halifax. That went to a $2.2 billion market cap. El Cubo, mined it for a long time out of Halifax, developed in Mexico, was sold to Endeavour Silver for $250 million. They developed the Orion project next, which was sold to Capital Gold in turn on that asset, sold to Alamos. Santa Gratuitous, this is where the team really worked together, full on together for those several years, and that's the one we had for a couple of years and sold to Agnico. And of course, now we're exploiting El Tigre, which is our exciting project. I'm going to orient everybody for the next 10 minutes or so of time we have left. We're going to talk about what we did around the old mine. It was mined out. We'll look at it. We still delivered very quickly a 1 million ounce gold deposit, open pit, 43-101, good grade. We're going to basically, that's about 20% of the way done. I'll show you that quickly. Exciting part is the next 3 kilometers. We have drills turning here and here. They have been for about a month. The third drill is now just started, and that basically is also drilling in this area. We'll talk about that. I think we need to do Geology 101. I think it's important that you do have a look at that. This may take a second or two to download. So you understand that what we really are working on here in this El Tigre project is exactly what we worked on for 25 years. It's a low sulfidation epithermal system. That's what our team has been experienced with. Most of the big deposits in Mexico are exactly that. Our Ocampo, Cheesepaw, Saltos, and this one. You always have an upper volcanic. This is Geology 101, a lower volcanic. It's that beautiful transition zone. My geologists hate when I say the yellow rock, but it's that yellow rock that's in the layer in between. And you can just see that it is a layer. It goes under the top of the hill, the upper volcanics and the lower. That's what allows us to have that 100 meters of gold mineralization outside these beautiful veins you see here. In those veins, you're looking probably at 25 kilometers of strike length right there. There's the old mine. Let me show you what we did there to deliver on a mined-out mine, our quick 1 million ounces. And here's the exciting part. We're going to talk about holes we've drilled up here in our last program as high as a meter of 10 kilos, and the drills are turning, and results will be coming very soon. Let's look at the old historical mine. Go quickly. We're about 20-25% of the way done here. look, this was the highest grade mine we've ever seen in Mexico, and we've looked under the head frames of a lot and built mines under and around them. This is an incredible one. You're looking at 1.5 kilometers, 450 meters. Remember that you can see the stope. We'll look at it from the top, the power of it, and explain what we did and what we're going to do. The black that you saw was the stope. The old timers, they just wanted a meter. Everything in there was 1, 2, 3 kilos. When you got in the center here, where the clavos was, where those veins came together, basically, which formed that, which we're seeing to the north, and why we really acquired the project, you could have stuff 10, 20, 30, 50 kilos in there. We had all the underground mining records. What we knew from our experience is that around this was a halo of vein mineralization, the gold. What you're looking at there, that's our resource. That's the 1 million ounces we drilled off in less than a year, all from surface, 100-meter wide cuts. We're going to get back in there very soon with a fourth drill. We're going to add this vein. This vein was never mined. We're going to drill that and add it in. We've stepped out almost 1 kilometer to the south and hit great mineralization. We'll add it in there. And, of course, the last thing I'll say on this is that underground, basically, they only went to 450 meters. We have drill holes. We put up to 700 meters under the mine. This thing, as most of these big mines, we expect will go to 1 kilometer. So at some point, we'll get back in here and get underground. This is going to become a beautiful resource. We're getting about $80 million from a NAV on that from the analyst coverage that's out there so far in our own calculations. That will only shoot up. You'll see us put the fourth drill in here, and you'll see a PEA being delivered on that. Basically, I'd say by next summer once we finish the work that's up here. But the exciting part right now for the next 6 months is really, the drills turning in the high-grade veins to the north that have not been mined. This will really show you that picture very clearly, I think. I've drawn that red line. Going 1.5 kilometers to the south is the old El Tigre mine. We got a lot of work to do down there, but we're just going to be banging on ounces down there and all that on one portion of the vein and the more vein halo. But this is the 3 kilometers to the north. What we're seeing up here and what we saw and why we acquired this for real was that we saw these veins coming together again. What happens in these big deposits in Mexico, you never find one 10 million ounce deposit and one big pit. They occur, these clavos, high-grade ore shoot, is what that means, along the trend. Pinos Altos was many of them along 10 kilometers. Our Campo mine was 5 or 6 pits along the trend. We thought we saw, and we still have to prove it, we've proven it to ourselves, that another clavos forming up here in the high-grade in the veins. That, remember, none of these things you're looking at to the north have 3 kilometers had been mined. So what we started to look at and see was and we can blow this up. We get up here and we tested this at the end of our last program. We only handful of holes up there. They don't all hit, but the vast majority did. Everything was 1 kilo, 2 kilos. We had this whole 144. Everything's from surface. So we'll show you that on the next slide so you can really appreciate how easy it is for us to explore all the veins along the trend. At 50 meters down, we hit that intersection. You'll see there 3 meters of 37 grams per ton gold. That was from surface, 50 meters. But the beautiful part was that the meter of 10 kilos, 7.3 of real silver. Now we're 1.7 kilometers north of the mine and the unmined veins, seeing the same type of grade repeat that we saw at that old super high grade mine. We let the drill turn another 50, 60 meters, picked up the next vein. They're all so close. Remember when they come together like they did at the old mine, that's where you see this super high grade develop. And we got, I think, 1.5 meters of a kilo. So our first drill started turning. We told everybody we got the camp back online. We made it ready for COVID, rebuilt all the sanitation, tripled the size of the core shack through June, July, and August. We told everybody from the start, no drilling until rainy season is over, September 15th. September 15th, our first drill started turning in this area. Second drill, we had one drill hole up here, 3 kilometers north in the unmined veins. We really liked that one, so we wanted to put our second drill up here. We had 1.5 meters close to surface of about 22 grams per ton gold. It was measured in. About 2/3 of that was gold, and 1/3 of it was silver. So we really got excited about that, and we got our second drill probably that was the third week of September-ish, because you get one running, then you move to the next one. That's been cutting holes at Fundadora for the last 3.5 weeks and delivering those. The third drill arrived on site, I think, yesterday. It's going to, the geologists tell us where it's going to go. I would expect it's going to take up the fight, I call it, on Fundadora, but they could move it back in here. Stay tuned for that, and we'll be giving more information. The next slide, I think, is really important to sum up what we think we have, where we're going with this cross-section. This is the cartoon of that whole 144 I showed you, right in the middle of those veins on mine on the last slide. What we're trying to show here is what we think we're onto. Old LT Gray mine is backwards. The old timers took all the high grade. We drilled off a giant pit. We hope up here, we know that we're going to see up here at the start of a pit or multiple pits, but the high grade veins will be in them. So our drilling is going to, and you can see that's the one we had the 10 meter, 10 kilos in. We let it drift. You see where that's 50 meters from surface. We walk on everything, the veins all daylight along, all this structure. And not only that, we can sample the wide zone of mineralization. That's that beautiful yellow rock. That's that 100-meter wide layer that takes up the gold, gram and a half, beautiful open pit bulk tonnage material. So our drilling here is going to not only be testing, and you'll see results coming in due course, the high-grade veins, which you'll probably see come out earlier because those results will we get quicker. But we will be sampling, and we are drilling that 100-meter, 80-meter, 90-meter cuts around these veins, and you'll see those results come out as 80-meter. Let's use an example. The Kaylee had three-quarters of a meter of a kilo, and it had also 80 meters of 1.12 grams per ton gold around it. What we're saying here is we think that in time, we've proven that theory ourselves, that the first layer, 100, 150 meters, will be taken up here in a pit, as it would have been if we discovered the old El Tigre mine, not mined out, and then go underground for upwards of 700, 800 meters to follow the tighter veins down underground. That's the theory. Lots of tens of thousands of meters of drilling to be done to prove all that and put it on paper, but that's really what we're going to. To end up, so I leave enough time for some questions, I am going to go and just put in perspective what we've talked about so far, and the actual earth-shattering size of this project is 25 kilometers of our land package. We are talking about what I just circled in blue, the old mine. We've drilled off 1 million ounces there very quickly. That's just a first pass. Many more 43-101 ounces, open pit, more high grade. The old timers didn't get it all, and the underground is still all there under 450 meters, probably goes to a kilometer. This is the 3 kilometers to the north that we understand, we mapped and sampled because we understand this, we understand that. The drill here, a drill here, third drill has joined the fight. So you'll see steady results coming out. This is the exciting part. That's 15 kilometers. We've got 6 or 7 north, veins continuing the same El Tigre structure on surface, mapped and sampled. Down here, another 12 kilometers. You have 2 more mines, all in this beautiful El Tigre structure, high-grade gold and silver. We had to add 5,000 hectares to our land package over here, because when we got on the other side of that little hill I showed you, of course, the El Tigre structure came out on the other side, and it's repeated itself there. High-grade gold and silver sample. We will get drill rigs here next year after we get out front for 5 or 6 months and map and sample it, and you'll start to hear about the first results coming out. But right now, tend to our knitting. There's that brownfields I keep talking about. The old mine, 4th drill will come in here. This is going to get much better, and that number of ounces going up, grades going up, dips coming down, and we'll move it towards PEA middle of next year with the drilling and technical drilling. The geotechnical drilling has to be done. Here, we're just going to drill 3 drills. You can see one's here, another is joined. We do one thing when we're in Mexico. We control one thing, that we can build mines. We've done it. We've proven that. So what we do is we're going to add as many ounces as we can with the drill bit. We're going to move as many of them as we can to economics. We like to keep our NAV very close to our market cap. It's a little separated from me right now. We're giving about $80 million for the first resource we have in the ground. I think it's a little liberal, and we're trading about 120. I want to tighten that up as both of them, move up, not exponentially, but greatly. We have $11 million raised. We did in August, I guess. We were offered 25. Eric Sprott came along, his representatives, 8 investment funds, you'd know most of them at household names. They came and offered $25 million at 30 cents with a half more at 50. We ended up taking a little more. I was going to raise $7 million in a bought deal, private placement by the end of August. We took a little more. We took 11. Mr. Sprott took $4 million. The rest of the funds split the rest, got about 30, 35% fill. We love to have them. They're very smart people on our shareholders register. So that's where we are. Company, I'm the largest shareholder, 12, 13 million shares under my control, a few options. But I'm very happy that my management team owns 15% of the company. No free stock. I paid almost $2 million for my shares, and the rest of the team purchased all theirs. We raised about $20 million during the downturn. That was the hard part, to acquire the asset, raise $20 million when people weren't chasing silver deals, so that we could understand what was happening here and drill off the resource and understand what we were looking for in another El Tigre. And so when the market turned and now that capital is available, we're up and running, and expect, people ask when the next drill results are coming. Well, there will be some soon. But I like to tell them for the next 3 or 4 years, and that's really how we run our projects. We either build a mine or perhaps along that road we sell them to corporates. That's where we are. Thank you. Any questions? I think I may be a bit over time.
Glenn, yeah, we are out of time. And the one question I was going to ask you was when were the drill results going to come? And you answered it right at the end of your speech there. Sometime soon, and more to come after that.
That's the right answer. Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time. You can find everything else on verify.com. Our 3D deck is hosted there. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, everybody.